I suppose I like horses, yeah. There's just something about a horse, as Winston Churchill said, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man. I think a lot of people look at me and say, wow, McGuinness did well. A lot of other people would think that I was lucky. Sometimes I look back and I say, I blew that, I made that mistake, I shouldn't have said that, I should have done that. Now, is that failure or is that learning curve? Is that acceptable? And is anybody 100% all the time? No. What really inspires me is God. I struggled very much because obviously, you know, I spent, you know, my formative years, my 20s as a missionary. I came back to Ireland, I got into the riding school business, I became a riding instructor, I got in, you know, I hadn't sat on a horse for 10 years, and then I got back into that. Then I realized I wasn't going to make money in that, and I had this idea to make a horse blanket. So who the hell was I to reinvent a whole business, that people have been doing this for hundreds of years, right? But eventually I figured out, wow, these guys are all wrong. Like, I sat down one day and I said to myself, I think a horse blanket should be like this. Everyone else thinks it should be like that. They've been doing it for 100 years. Who the hell do you think you are, McGuinness? Who the hell do you think you are? The whole world is wrong, and you're right. And actually, I compromised on the first 100 blankets I made. I made them a little bit bigger than I thought they should be. I got 4 or 5 complaints. I saw where I'd made a mistake. I went back to that same shape. And that was in 1980, probably 84. And it's the same shape that we use today, 40 years later. And horses aren't like dogs. They don't give you that emotional connection. You know, they don't come up to you wagging their tail and go, you know, and they rarely acknowledge you unless you have food. And then I started riding when I was 12. There's something really magical about being with another animal. Now, I know people swim with dolphins and they go whale watching and they train dogs, but you're actually riding. You're actually with another animal. You know, it's not like riding a bicycle.
He's an incredible man in his heart, he's an incredible man in his mind, and he's an incredible horseman. This is the difference to Tom and the other people I know. Tom have the horses in his blood.
I had the design sorted. Didn't fall off. Looked great. Didn't rub the horse. Was comfortable. Now I had the waterproofing. So I basically had the whole market to myself for about 5 years. I sent one to a guy in the States, and he gave it to a magazine called Practical Horseman. And the next autumn, or that October, an article came out, a full one-page article that I was embarrassed to read it. It was so good. It was so positive. It was like, this is the best thing since sliced pan. It was like amazing. And ever since then, for the next 5 or 6 years, we couldn't make it. Just, my biggest mistake was I didn't put the price a bit higher. It's great, you know, to meet people and then they, oh yeah, Horseware, Tom, oh yeah, yes. No, and I'm famous, like, in our world. Like, if you go down and walk to the stables there, you'll see my product all over the place. It's actually a bit strange, now that I've sold, like, the controlling interest, it's not quite as personal. You know, I've always said to people about running a business was easy compared to what I did when I was doing missionary work. But when you're living by faith, and so few people actually live on the edge like that, it can be very uncomfortable, very difficult, but it's also very rewarding and exciting. I believe I'm not a straight down the line Christian. You know, I am a person who's thinking about the universe, I'm thinking about why, I'm thinking about when, I'm thinking about all those questions, because I'm a questioner. I question. All my life I got in trouble by asking questions. I like to learn. I like to grow. I suppose I should be, and I'm trying to, like, you know, jettison some stuff, so my life is a bit simpler. And so many things have changed in my life, even in the last 12 months. My life has completely and totally changed. And I believe it's all, and it wasn't like a plan, it just kind of all came together, it just happened. Some really good ones. I've got some great horses now. Oh my God, I got some of the best horses. I only ride good horses now. This is me in Normandy at the World Equestrian Games in Normandy, 2014. Horse called Artista that I bought in Uruguay, and I really did most of my qualifications on that horse.
10 years ago, he discovered the endurance world and endurance horses, and in this moment is his passion. Tom is different, he's a horseman.
Well, what I like most about endurance riding is that you spend a lot of time with an animal. Like if you're with an animal and you go 100 kilometers or 100 miles, you know, that's Dublin to Belfast in one day. You know, you get to know it, there's a connection, you definitely get to know the animal. And then obviously you've got to be training 2-3 hours a day. So every 5 kilometers they're giving you water, they're throwing water on the horse. When you get into the vet gate, you jump off, they whip off the saddle, you try to get that heart rate down as quick as possible in. Then there's a rest period, and then, you know, someone will be maybe massaging the horse, trying to get him to eat, and basically cooling the legs. So no, it's really a big team thing, yeah. I've won a couple of races, but I've been second, I've been third, I've been fifth, and I've had up the world rankings. I've been 22nd in the world at one stage. In endurance racing, you have a long-term view of things. Its attention to detail is so important in this. So in that way, it's like business. Management is really important. A lot of unknowns, a lot of unpredictable stuff. So I have 4 ponies here in Barcelona. I don't really take it too seriously. I'm more really interested in the endurance. You know, the endurance I could do. It doesn't really cost me. This polo, I'm easy here. You can see I don't miss the ball, but in the game it's different. When you're going, you don't have time to think. But I love polo because it's a team sport. So it's not dependent on you. A lot of times I'll play a really good game and I won't touch the ball. I'll just block the other guy. When you look inside, and you have to deal with yourself, you have to know yourself. I mean, it's important to know who you are. There's a big difference between, you know, feeling you're a failure and failing, because we all fail. You can't really have happiness if you don't have peace. Peace is a mixture of contentment. You know, there's a huge difference between being content and being satisfied. Happiness should be natural to us. It's a natural thing to be happy. But you have to work at it. It's like growing your flowers, like harvesting fruit. You have to plant it, you have to grow it, and you have to take care of it. You have to water it. And so, yet no one ever teaches, we're not taught in school how to be happy. We're not taught that you can actually improve your mental state just by thinking in a certain way and doing certain things and avoiding some things. I mean, the amount of junk that people put into their bodies is bad, but the amount of junk that people are putting into their minds is just unbelievable. You know, showing me a lot about riding ponies and horses, and I've had a great 10 years of playing polo, but now I got to go back to work. I got to go back to work. So I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life putting out the books. I've got 4 books written. I've never really had a chance to really, promote them, and that's what I'm going to do now for the next 10 years. I think it's really important for people to celebrate the moment. You know, it's not wait until the very end. It's really important. It's almost like, you know, you're on this journey and there's these little waypoints, these little overlook. You know, you're driving along, there's a place to stop and look at the view. When I get to a certain point in anything I'm doing, anything, I always stop and I celebrate.